Aki nem volt a meet and greeten, Ted Nasmith, kanadai fantasy festő, egyébként zenész, polihisztor, Tolkien Nap tisztelője, elég sok mindent csinál, és nagy megtiszteltetés, hogy ő itt van velünk, és ez egy nagyon exkluzív workshop, amit most nekünk fog tartani. 16-20-ig tart maga a workshop, tehát egy picit kevesebb, mint 2 óra hosszán van. Különböző vázlatokon fogja tehát megmutatni egy-egy grafikájának a fejlődését is, tanulhatok belőle. Ha valaki nem hozott festéket, papírt, ceruzát, ez ne se legyen el, mert annyira állítólag nem lesz létszükséglet. És akkor át is adom a szót Tednek, köszönjük szépen, köszönöm, hogy eljöttetek, remélem, hogy jól érzitek magatokat.
And so what I wanted to do was try to give you a sense of the creative process for me in creating artwork, going from the reading of the part of the reading of the book to an idea or two, and then progressing through various development stages to a final piece of art. And I thought I'd start with something relatively simple as far as process, but then I will go into a few more if we have time. We will see how far we get. And I will read the part of the book, and I will then show you how it's translated into the illustration, and I will describe some of the variations on the possibility and how I arrive at the final piece, and then I will show you the piece of art itself. That's probably the best I can do. I will do a little bit of drawing if we have time, but generally speaking, it's probably not really necessary. But if you would like to sketch, of course, or do anything yourselves, feel free. But it's very, very difficult for me to give instruction on that from here, and we won't really have probably enough time to develop any real artwork in real time. I'll see what I can do as far as, at least in one situation, to do some of what I typically do in the studio. So as you can imagine, it's complicated to take a studio and move it to a place like this, and we have certain limits to it. But thank you for coming and for sharing this with me. What we have here is not easy to see exactly, but these are some drawings I did of the, okay, I see, perception. There's a little, very obscure reference in the Silmarillion, or is it Unfinished Tales? No, it is the Silmarillion, the Fall of Numenor, where it describes how Numenorean sailors went to the very edges of the earth, and they saw something called the Gates of Morn, to the very edge of the world. Of course, this was one of J.R.R. Tolkien's early conceptions of the sun and the moon, and how they cycled over a flat earth. And he was, of course, trying to recreate the ideas that are in real-world mythologies around things like the sun and the moon and perceptions of the world and its flatness. So it's difficult to fit that into the later scheme of his work. And he did change his ideas, the idea of the changed road, the straight road versus the curved road of the world. Anyway, the point being that the idea of great huge gates at the edge of the world is rather interesting for an artist. So what I have here, it's really kind of difficult to see the top drawing here, which shows a Numenorean ship. And rather faintly, you can't really see it here, but a great huge gigantic arch, a doorway, through which the sun is shining. And the sketches below, ignore those. They're simply part of the same page where I was working with thumbnail ideas from the Silmarillion at that time. The next drawing is same thing, a little bit different from, again, just trying to refine it a little bit. You have an arch here, some ships, and calm waters and the sun emerging through this great gate. And this is one color sketch I did of that. It was fairly easy to go from the drawings to experiments in color. I don't think these are in chronological order, but they just give you, it's an exceptional situation where I have 4 or 5 different sketches of that same thing, but I have not yet done a full painting. So, put that one here. And here is another version, a little bit larger. Another version where more golden tones. And one of the better, more finished ones where bluer tones and more diffuse light. I think I use a little bit of airbrush with that. And yet another one with more purples and oranges and golds and a little bit more detail. In this small drawing, you can see something of the ship's idea, the Luminoid design of the prow. So from this one, you see the same idea. So that's how that was translated, and as far as I got with it. But this is what one does in order to finalize an image and take it to a larger piece. I think we'll have to leave it at that. Anyway, a little more drawing. Thank you all for your kind patience.